I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Michael Cohen, my co-host on Political Beatdown, is gearing up for a trial in a lawsuit that he has filed against the Trump Organization. He had a status conference at the end of last week, and he talked to us about this case exclusively and first here on the MeidasTouch Network on the Political Beatdown Podcast that I co-host with him. I want you to watch this, and then I'm going to show you a clip from what went down at the status conference where Cohen was in the hallways after. And let me give you a little hint. Cohen announced that he was going to be subpoenaing Don Jr. Here, first, let's play this clip from Beatdown. Play the clip.
Let me start with the simplest. Tomorrow, I have a pre-trial conference scheduled at the courthouse in order to go over a whole series of motions in limine prior to next week, the beginning of the voir dire of the jury. So excited about that. You know, one of the topics is whether or not Donald Trump, whether or not the court will permit or force by subpoena Donald Trump to appear for the trial to take the stand. Who knows? Something that, you know, we would like, and it's something that I think is necessary. But then again, we have to leave it up to the court to make that determination.
Before getting into more, Cohen, can I pause right there? So just to be clear, so you have a trial against Donald Trump's Trump Organization for
July 24th
for unpaid fees. Donald Trump, considering that you worked with him and he would have knowledge, would seem to be somebody who would be a witness in this trial. So what's the deal? Trump's lawyers have said he's refusing to show up, and you now have to go ask the judge to compel him. What's going on there?
So the story here is that they have already conceded liability. They've conceded to all of the averments of the complaint, and that this case is merely damages. And so there is no need to have Trump or anyone for that matter from the Trump Organization appear because they've already agreed to it. This is, again, merely damages. So it's more like they don't really have anything other than, hey, bring the lawyers on who have outstanding legal bills and present your case as to damages only, because liability is not an issue.
That's fascinating because, you know, we've always heard before Trump fighting everything, and this really hasn't been reported. I love that you're sharing it with the Beatdown Brigade, but that the Trump Organization has stipulated to the liability. In essence, they say that what you are suing us, Cohen, for, we admit it. We
Correct.
were wrong. So now just make the case about how much money we owe you, Cohen. You're saying we owe you X. We're saying we owe you Y. Why should Donald Trump have to show up if it's just about damages? Why do you think? Can I ask? Can I ask you that question, or should I save that for your lawyers? Why do you think he should show up if it's just about the damages?
Well, there's a multitude of reasons, but first and foremost, as part of the complaint, we're also asking for punitive damages as well as consequential damages, and he's going to be needed in order to testify to that. You know, there are a series of issues that, you know, his testimony would be relevant. Now, do I think that he would be on the stand for a full day? The answer to that is no, but there are questions there that are, you know, necessary to have Trump as well as others from the organization there within which to corroborate, you know, what was spent and so on. So,
yeah, for example, if he has a pattern and practice of paying certain lawyers certain
or not
fees,
paying.
Or not paying, the only way you would get to that information from a damages perspective would be to ask them, hey, have you paid this lawyer that amount? Hey, what are you paying that law firm for these services? So you're right. I mean, how could you truly arrive at damages when we all know that he basically makes it up, who he's paying, where he's paying? His payment habits are critical.
Exactly. So stay tuned, because come, you know, our next regularly scheduled Political Beatdown on Tuesday, we're going to have a lot more to discuss as a result of however the judge in this specific case ultimately decides.
So here's the update since we recorded that. Michael Cohen has told the judge, and the judge has given the green light for Cohen to subpoena Don Jr. as a representative of the Trump Organization. The court said that at this point, Donald Trump's not going to have to testify because, as we talked about in that clip, they've already stipulated to most of the liability there, but we'll see if that changes. But let me show you the clip from Michael Cohen outside of the courthouse. And again, just to remind you what this is all about, right? Cohen incurred all of these legal fees when he was representing Donald Trump, and he was bringing on lawyers, and Cohen had to have lawyers represent him in all of the investigations. And this should be, under most business and professions code, automatic like indemnification if you work for a company and you're being investigated for doing things in the course and scope of your employment, that they would indemnify you, that they would pay the legal fees. And Trump Organization, surprise, surprise, isn't paying the legal fees. But here's the clip outside in the hallway. Play it.
So there's been evidence adduced in the case that in the exact same matters for which Mr. Cohen is seeking indemnification in this case, the company paid the legal bills of Mr. Trump Jr. It's also been testified to in this case that Mr. Trump Jr. was one of the decision makers regarding whose lawyers got paid and whose lawyers did not get paid. And so we look forward to hearing his testimony at trial on those issues.
How do you feel about former President Trump is not going to be here on the trial?
Well, I think given the court's denial of their motion that seeks to contest the oral agreements to indemnify Mr. Cohen, and it's holding the Trump Organization and its counsel to their prior representation that those commitments were made, there's no need for him to be here. We're not looking for a circus. We're looking for a fair trial that brings in the right facts and the right evidence and the appropriate outcome, which is providing Mr. Cohen with the compensation he's entitled to.
Just to double check, when does the jury selection start again? Is it next week or the 17th?
The 17th.
Start on the 17th?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Michael, how are you feeling? This is just one of so many.
4 years. It has taken 4 years to get to where we're at, which is endemic of Donald Trump's playbook of delay, delay, delay. Thanks to the Gilbert firm, thanks to Mr. Winstead, Dan Wolf, and just the entire team here. All I can say is I'm looking forward to the trial because I'm looking forward to accountability.
Can you speak at all to kind of how taxing the last few years have been and everything you've gone through to get to this point?
We would need to do a 1 hour sit-down special together. It would take a whole lot longer than a minute in order to discuss where this journey has taken me and the unnecessary challenges that have been thrown at me by Mr. Trump, the Trump Organization, and others.
That's what I love about Political Beatdown. You've got what goes on in the show. Cohen tells you what's going to happen. Boom. Here's what happens next. And we get to talk about it and get to reflect on it. And we get the news here first by having Michael Cohen as our co-host. And my good friend Cohen. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching this. Check out our audio podcast wherever Political Beatdown is available. Search Political Beatdown, hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.
Hey, Midas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.